It all started on a rainy night. I was standing in front of an old mansion, trying not to look insane. I knocked. A minute later, the lights came on in the windows, and I heard some footsteps. And there he was. Dark, just like the weather. Dark hair, tired eyes, and a hint of arrogance. Andrew Fletcher?
You've got the wrong address.
I knew he'd say that. So I pulled out an old photograph. It showed a little blonde girl with a violin and an elderly man. He was your mentor. He turned you into a genius. Thanks to him, you got into the best orchestra in the world. If you want to honor Sebastian Reich's memory, you should become his granddaughter's mentor.
You're Sebastian Reich's granddaughter?
I am. I know you became a recluse after that nervous breakdown, but I need your help. Please, be my teacher.
That's out of the question. Leave.
I turned around and had already taken a step toward the gate when the door opened again.
Damn it. Fine. Come in. I'll do it. But only for Sebastian Reich. Your grandfather was a good man.
Hi, my name's Eliza. Back then, I had no idea I was walking into the lair of the beast. I'd escaped one monster to end up with another. Inside, it was dark and smelled like loneliness. Andrew lit some candles in the living room.
The power is out because of the storm.
Then he handed me a cup of hot tea and studied me closely.
What's your name?
Eliza.
Why didn't you study under your grandfather? He was a great musician.
He did teach me violin, but he wanted it to be a hobby for me, nothing more.
You know, great musicians sacrifice themselves for music. I guess your grandfather didn't want that fate for you.
It's in my blood. I don't have another path. Right now, my playing is mediocre, and I need to get a lot better if I want a spot in the Velvet Orchestra. Andrew flinched. The cup slipped from his hands and shattered with a sharp crash.
Velvet? You know their conductor, Leonardo Crane, is insane, right? He breaks people, drains them completely. That's why I quit. That's why I disappeared.
I know, but I have to get in. Please. In memory of my grandfather, help me. He just stared at me for a long time, like he was trying to figure me out. Then he sighed.
Fine, I'll teach you. But it's not going to be easy. Music isn't for the weak, and Velvet definitely isn't.
I can handle it. He gave me a room. I fell asleep thinking I had already succeeded. I was so naive. By morning, the rain still hadn't stopped. It felt like it was here to stay. So we set up in the greenhouse. Andrew asked me to play something, to show him what I could do. I started playing. It was a difficult piece called The Echo of Silence. Every note felt like a step on thin ice. Andrew listened in complete silence, then suddenly stood up and walked out. What does that mean? I found him in the living room, standing with his back to me. I gently touched his shoulder. He spun around like he'd been shocked and pushed me. I hit the floor. He was furious, but tears were running down his face. A moment later, he realized what he'd done, and, looking guilty, offered me his hand.
I'm sorry. The Echo of Silence. That piece brings back too many memories.
I know you used to play that sonata. That's why I chose it.
Actually, it wasn't bad, but you've still got a long way to go.
And that's when it started. What Andrew called rehearsals. I called it How Not to Lose Your Mind in 30 Days. The first warning sign came in the evening. I tried to go out for a run, but every door in the house was locked. You locked me in?
Not quite. I created the perfect conditions. This way, nothing will distract you from the music.
Then he demanded that I hand over my phone, for the same reason. I didn't like to be controlled like that, but I was ready to do anything to get into Velvet. He would wake me up in the middle of the night and force me to rehearse, and I would play until I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. If I made a mistake, Andrew would lose it. He would throw things at the wall. I flinched every single time. But when the melody was clean, Andrew would close his eyes and listen like he was savoring it. It was strange, almost unsettling.
Again.
Maybe I should try something else?
No, The Echo of Silence. Again.
Yes, he only wanted to hear that piece, over and over again. At some point, it started to feel like he was addicted to it, like he was obsessed. But he also gave me advice that actually worked. Andrew caught every mistake, every slight imperfection, and over time, I realized I was getting much better. That part was good, but the house itself was suffocating me. I couldn't step outside even for a minute. Andrew had the keys, and every window had bars. One day, I was playing in the greenhouse as usual. Suddenly, Andrew frowned and walked straight toward me. What's wrong?
You're not Sebastian Reich's granddaughter. Who are you?
I don't understand.
Come with me.
He roughly grabbed my wrist and dragged me over to the mirror.
Look.
I couldn't figure out what was wrong with my reflection at first. Then it hit me. A month had passed by. My roots had grown out, and my natural black hair color was starting to show again.
Sebastian Reich's granddaughter was blonde. Who are you, imposter?
There was no denying it. I let out a heavy sigh and told him the truth. I'm the daughter of a monster. My father is Leonardo Crane, the conductor of Velvet. You want the truth? Fine. Just imagine me at 7, terrified, playing the violin. Right next to me, like a guard, my father standing there with a leather belt in his hand. Whip, whip, whip. I still hear that sound in my nightmares. He wanted to raise a musical genius, which meant I never had a normal childhood. No cartoons, no toys, no friends, just the violin and my father's constant shouting.
You're talentless, worthless, try harder.
He believed that being a genius wasn't about talent, but about having the ability to improve under extreme pressure. That's why he was so cruel with his musicians and with his own daughter. I lived for his approval, but no matter how hard I tried, he was never satisfied. And then one day, he simply gave up on me.
You're too mediocre. I won't waste my time on you anymore.
And from that moment on, I simply stopped existing for him. And somehow that hurt even more than when he made me play through tears. I became obsessed with earning his approval, and the only way to get it was to get into Velvet. I even planned to go to an open audition for the orchestra, but my father forbade it.
Don't disgrace my name. The entire music world will laugh at the fact that the daughter of the great Leonardo Crane is so mediocre.
Sometimes I went to the orchestra concerts. I was amazed by your playing. It was perfect. Even my father worshipped you, Andrew. But he always pushed you to do more. That's why he put so much pressure on you. I was at that rehearsal, the one that pushed you over the edge, sitting in the very back where you couldn't see me.
Again, Andrew. I played it correctly. You're wrong. You're either perfect or you're trash. Choose.
And you broke. You told off the great Crane, threw your violin away, and left. That's when I started respecting you even more. Time passed, and then the Velvet announced new auditions. That's when I came up with the plan to make you my teacher, Andrew. But I knew you wouldn't agree to it, especially if you found out who my father was. So I started digging into your past. You don't use social media, and there's barely anything about you online. Still, I found out you once had a mentor, Sebastian Reich. He died a few years ago, but I managed to track down his granddaughter's social media. It turned out she was my age, and we looked similar enough. So, I dyed my hair blonde, rehearsed every line, and showed up here pretending to be Sebastian Reich's granddaughter.
You're Crane's daughter. That man made me suffer. He took everything from me.
I'm sorry. I never should have lied to you. I'll leave right away.
You're not going anywhere.
What are you up to? Are you going to hurt me just to get back at my father?
No, but I'll help you get into Velvet. I want Leonardo Crane to realize just once that he was wrong. To see his stunned face when you succeed. Consider it payment for my services.
I was already in too deep to turn back now, so I nodded. From that moment on, Andrew became even stricter. His lessons turned into something like a survival experiment. One day, I was playing the Echo of Silence when Andrew suddenly snapped.
I can hear wrong notes.
What are you talking about? I played it clean.
Start over.
Or maybe you should show me how it's done? He looked at me angrily, then at the violin, and just walked out. If I hadn't already seen Andrew play before, I would have thought he didn't know how to play at all. That night, I couldn't sleep. My head was pounding. I needed air. I opened Andrew's room door slightly. He was asleep. So I quietly slipped in and started looking for the keys. I couldn't find the keys anywhere, but in one of the drawers, I saw my phone. At that moment, Andrew started turning over in his sleep. I realized he could wake up any second, so I grabbed my phone and quickly went back to my room. There, I saw a bunch of missed calls. From my mom, my roommate, people from college. Obviously, everyone was wondering where I disappeared to for a month. There was even one missed call from my dad, and he never called first. Never! Could it be that he actually cared? That thought made me feel strangely happy. So I called him back. Dad? Hi.
Where the hell are you, Eliza? Your mother is losing her mind.
I told you I'd be gone for a while.
I've got rehearsals, interviews, meetings, and I can't even focus because I have to calm your mother down.
Something inside me just snapped. My father only thought about himself. Classic Leonardo Crane. I'm taking lessons from Andrew Fletcher.
Say that again.
You heard me.
Andrew Fletcher died 6 months after leaving the orchestra. I was at his funeral. So if this is a joke, it's not a funny one.
What? But
Go see your mother. I'm tired of calming her down. That's it. I need some sleep.
Dad hung up. He thought I was messing with him about Andrew. Meanwhile, I just sat there frozen with my phone in my hands. If Andrew was dead, then who had I been living with this whole time? I searched Andrew Fletcher, violinist. But after Andrew left Velvet, there were no mentions of him anywhere. No interviews, no articles, nothing at all. But my father sounded serious, which meant I needed to get out of there, fast. I quietly stepped into Andrew's room, or the room of whoever was pretending to be him. I started searching for the keys again. Every few seconds, I looked back at the bed to make sure he was still asleep. Then, the next time I turned around, the bed was empty. I flinched. Shoot!
Find what you were looking for?
You're dead!
What? You think I'm a ghost?
I don't know who you are, but you're definitely not Andrew Fletcher. He looked at me with a sad little smile, then pulled the keys from his pocket.
You can take them and leave. You're ready for Velvet. Or you can stay and find out who I really am.
My eyes jumped from the keys to him and back again. But in the end, I did what any sane person would do in my place. I grabbed the keys. I tried to walk away calmly so he wouldn't notice how badly I was panicking, but I was terrified. I grabbed my violin and hurried toward the door before he could change his mind and stop me from leaving. Still, right before I walked out, I turned back one last time. What about you? What are you going to do now?
Don't worry about me. Soon, I'll be with my family again.
There was something strange in his voice, but I didn't stay to figure it out. I just ran from that house as fast as I could. The next few days, I was trying to pull myself together and get back to my normal life. I went to classes at college, visited my mom, and then the day of the audition finally came. I stepped onto the stage with my heart pounding. The hall was enormous, with perfect acoustics and an atmosphere that basically said, impress us or leave. Sitting in those chairs were the people deciding my future, including my father. He looked at me like I was garbage.
Start, Eliza. If you came here to embarrass me, at least don't waste our time.
I didn't answer. I just started playing the echo of silence. When the final note faded into the air, silence filled the hall. Then suddenly, applause shattered it. My father didn't clap, but he gave the slightest nod. And from him, that was the highest form of approval possible. In that moment, I finally felt like I could breathe again, because I knew I had done it. Later, I was invited into my father's office. It almost looked like he was smiling.
You surprised me today. You prove that you're my daughter. Now sign these and you'll officially become part of Velvet.
I picked up the pen and lowered it toward the paper, but froze. My hand just wouldn't move. Slowly, I looked back up at my father. Tell me what happened to Andrew Fletcher.
Does that really matter right now?
Yes.
Well, I pushed him hard. I won't deny that. Drove him close to insanity, honestly. But I wanted him to fully reach his potential. Andrew was talented, but he couldn't handle the pressure. After that breakdown, he struggled for a long time, so his parents decided to send him to a rehabilitation center on an island.
And then?
On the way there, their boat got caught in a storm. Andrew died along with his parents. The funeral was private. Andrew's brother did everything possible to keep the story out of the media. He wanted people to remember Andrew as a gifted musician, not just as another victim of his own talent.
What? Andrew had a brother?
Yes, Tony, his twin. Tony played violin too, just nowhere near as brilliantly. No idea where he is now, probably rotting away in the family mansion, or playing in some pathetic restaurant.
Tony, that's who I've been living with. And suddenly, his final words flashed through my mind.
Don't worry about me. Soon I'll be with my family again.
I dropped the pen and told my father I was leaving.
What? But you've worked toward this your entire life. Without Velvet, you're nobody.
Maybe, but at least I'll be myself. I rushed to Tony's house and nearly crashed into him on the porch.
Eliza, you picked a pretty bad time. I was just about to go for a swim.
I know who you are, and I know what you're planning, Tony. Listen, I'm so sorry you lost your whole family. I really am, but please stay. Tony acted like he couldn't even hear me. He smiled sadly, his eyes filling with tears.
You know, I was the one helping Andrew rehearse the Echo of Silence. Nobody ever played it the way he did, but you pulled it off. Maybe that's why I couldn't let you go. While you were playing, it felt like my brother was here again. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I have to go.
No, don't do this!
Easier for you to say when you got everything you wanted. You made it into the orchestra, didn't you?
Yeah, but I turned it down.
Wait, you did that because of me?
I just don't want to become my father. But if you follow your family now, then all of this was for nothing.
Eliza,
Tony, I heard you performed at some restaurant. Maybe they could use one more violinist.
They don't pay much, and it's nowhere near the level you dreamed about.
Music's supposed to bring joy, not suffering. He stayed silent for a long moment. Then something in his expression changed. It was as if a light had come back on inside him.
Alright, let's take a walk and talk about it. I guess I changed my mind about that swim.
We walked for hours, talking about music, about ourselves, about Andrew. It felt like we were getting to know each other all over again. And deep down, I knew this was the start of something good. I gave up everything I thought I'd been living for. But for the first time in my life, I actually felt alive. So, what do you think? Did I win or lose?